Hello everyone, Johnny Thunder, EAS&Weather here, with a follow-up update to the Day One Outlook. Excuse me. You have to excuse my coughing and occasional congestion. I'm still fighting a cold, so just bear with me here in the video. But anyway, the reason I'm having a follow-up update, even if nothing's really changed, is because this can be a very dangerous day, and I want everybody to be caught up. So anyway, we still have a high risk for severe weather today that encompasses east central Mississippi and central and west central Alabama. So those are the highest risk areas, if you will, hence the high risk. Okay, so again, the high risk area today still encompasses east central Mississippi and central and western Alabama. Okay, there's a moderate risk for severe weather today that encompasses east central Louisiana, much of Mississippi, much of Alabama, South central Tennessee, excuse me, western Georgia, and the western part of the Florida Panhandle. Now, you'll notice back here that the western part of these risks are being shaved off, and that's because as those storms move east, areas farther west are just about to be done with storms. Okay? So, anyway, we have an enhanced risk for severe weather today that encompasses a very thin area of central Louisiana, southeastern Louisiana, a very thin part of northwestern Mississippi, southwestern, northern, and southeastern Tennessee, far southwestern North Carolina, far northwestern, a very teeny tiny part of northwestern South Carolina, central Georgia, and the central part of the Florida Panhandle. We have a slight today that encompasses a small part of central Louisiana and southwest Louisiana, a very teeny tiny part of southeastern Arkansas, a very thin area of northwestern Mississippi, a thin area of western Tennessee, northeastern Tennessee, most of Kentucky, south central Indiana, far southwestern Virginia, west central North Carolina, west central South Carolina, east central Georgia, and the eastern part of the Florida Panhandle. And there's areas in the dark green are marginal. Again, dark green areas are marginal. Going to the tornado threat for today, still a 30% chance of tornadoes today that encompasses east central Mississippi and central and west central Alabama. So if you're in the 30% tornado risk area, that means you could see very strong, destructive, and violent long-track tornadoes across the 30% area, which again covers east central Mississippi and central and west central Alabama. Okay? So there's the areas that could see violent tornadoes of around an EF4 and maybe even EF5 tornado. Okay? The highest potential for EF4, maybe an EF5 tornado, will be in the 30% area. Now, it's not to say you can't get it in the 15% area, because you certainly can. Okay? There is a 15% chance of tornadoes today that encompasses east central Louisiana, much of Mississippi, south central Tennessee, most of Alabama, western Georgia, and the western part of the Florida Panhandle. There is a 10% chance of tornadoes today that encompasses, no one just update on me, but there is a 10% chance of tornadoes today that encompasses southeastern Louisiana, a very thin part of central Louisiana, a very thin part of northwestern Mississippi, southwestern, north central, and southeastern Tennessee, far southwestern North Carolina, far northwestern South Carolina, central Georgia, and central Florida. So, now if you look at the black dashed areas encompass the entirety of the 30%, 15%, and 10% tornado risk areas. The black dashed areas mean the highest potential of seeing strong tornadoes of EF2 rating or stronger. Again, the black dashed area covers the 30%, 15%, and 10% tornado risk areas, which means the highest potential of seeing strong tornadoes of EF2 rating or stronger on the enhanced Vegeta scale. Now, I think the highest potential of seeing those strong, or excuse me, those violent tornadoes of EF4 rating, or even EF5, I think the highest potential of seeing the strong, not just strong, but the very strong, destructive, violent tornadoes, which would mean, EF4 will be across the 30% and 15% risk areas for tornadoes, okay? And it could even mean EF5. I think, again, the 30% chance area has the highest potential of an EF5, okay? And, again, black dashed area means the highest potential of seeing EF2 tornadoes or stronger, and could see violent tornadoes of EF4, or maybe an EF5, again, in the 30% and 15% tornado risk areas. So, anyway, moving forward here, the brown area is where we have a 5% chance of tornadoes today. So, and the green area is 2% chance. So, for tornadoes. So, still do not let your guard down in those smaller numbers area, but especially be vigilant and have a way of getting notified. Have ways of getting notified everywhere in the risk areas, but especially the 30% and 15% areas. So yeah, for tornadoes. Going to the wind threat for today. Excuse me. There is a 45% chance of damaging wind gusts of 58 miles per hour higher today that covers south central Tennessee, extreme northeastern Alabama, and extreme northwestern Georgia. There is a 30% chance of damaging wind gusts of 58 miles per hour higher today that covers far east central Louisiana, most of Mississippi, most of Alabama, most of the Florida Panhandle, much of Georgia, extreme northwestern South Carolina, southwestern North Carolina, and parts of Tennessee. Now, if you look at the black dashed areas, the black dashed area means the highest potential of seeing hurricane force wind gusts of 74 miles per hour higher. Again, the black dashed area is where we had the highest potential of seeing hurricane force wind gusts of 74 miles per hour higher from thunderstorms. Okay? So, areas in the yellow are in a 15% chance of damaging wind gusts of 58 miles per hour higher today. And the brown is where we have a 5% chance of damaging wind gusts of 58 miles per hour higher today. Now moving on to the hail threat for today. 30% chance of hail of 1 inch in diameter larger today. That encompasses east central Louisiana, much of Mississippi, and west central and northwestern Alabama. And a 15% chance of hail of 1 inch in diameter larger today encompasses much of Louisiana, far southeastern Arkansas, northwestern and southern Mississippi, southwestern Kentucky, most of Tennessee, most of Alabama, far southwestern North Carolina, western Georgia, and much of the Florida Panhandle. And again, the black dashed area, here we have the highest potential of seeing hail of 2 inches in diameter larger today. Again, black dashed area is for hail of 2 inches in diameter larger today in the hail risk section. Okay, and a 5% chance of hail of 1 inch in diameter larger today in the brown areas. So, in summary, a tornado outbreak is expected today across the central Gulf Coast states and deep south into the Tennessee Valley. Numerous significant tornadoes, some of which should be long track and potentially violent, are expected this afternoon and evening. The most dangerous tornado threat will begin across eastern Louisiana and Mississippi through this afternoon, spreading across Alabama this afternoon into the evening, and reach western parts of the Florida Panhandle and Georgia tonight. So, that's the day one outlook. So, God bless everyone who has to go through that today. So, anyway, have a way of getting alerts, whether no weather radio, a phone, a TV, whatever. Even after you go to bed, you need a way to wake up to alerts. So I recommend everyone to go to bed in a safe place tonight, so you won't even have to, get up. So, God bless to those affected, stay safe today and tonight, because areas further east, the further east you go, the later the storm is going to arrive. So, stay safe, take care.